Hello, hello, and welcome to A Crafter's Crazy Obsessions, a channel primarily about cross-stitch with a little sprinkling of any of the other crafts that I partake in. I'm Teresa. I'm coming to you from my small town here in Northwest Arkansas, where I live with my family, our two dogs, Baron and Duke, and our bearded dragon, Sir Skellington. This is Flosstube number 3. Never thought I would get back to doing this, but it's been 3 months, and I was like, I need to do a video before Thanksgiving so that I can then do a video leading up to what my plans are for the rest of the year, being December, and plans for the new year. So let's dive in. It's been 3 months, and unfortunately, I don't know if I already mentioned the 3-month hiatus, but life happens, and I apologize for those who return, if you're returning, thank you. And if you're new, hello and welcome. But it's been 3 months. Life happens between a new work schedule and getting sick, and just everything, like day-to-day things. In my house, we're trying to find our new normal, and it's not going as smoothly as we thought it would be. So, needless to say, I'm back. We are going to be covering Birthday Bash 2025, where I turned 30 back in August, and I started 30 whips. We'll also be covering my finishes and the whips that I've worked on in the last 3 months. So there's a lot. I apologize ahead of time just because I know how it's going to go. The more I talk, the more I start to feel congested. So my sinuses are acting up. So if there are breaks in the video, it's because I've either had a sneezing fit or I've had to stop and take a drink. All right, so let's get into this. All right. Oh my goodness, okay, so let's start. Let's start with finishes, and this is just finished stitching. They're not complete finishes or fully finishes. They're just finished with the stitching. So first and foremost, we have Project 1 of Birthday Bash 2025. This is a start and finish. This is Hedgehog and Hyacinth by the Blue Flower. This is stitched on 40 count Oracle on Newcastle linen by Picture This Plus. This hedgehog, the mama hedgehog, is I think a couple stitches wider and taller. I forgot. I was doing this at work and then I was like, oh, I messed up somewhere. But there she is. I did do a color conversion where the hedgehog color here is Forbidden Fiber Co. Oak 116. And then the rest are the same, except for there was another shade, either pink or purple, where you did the ends with the darker. I just decided to go with the darker purple and leave the other one out. And this is it. I do have plans to fully finish this. I just don't know when that's going to happen. This was started on August the 8th, or no, August the 3rd, and I finished it on August the 11th. This is my first ever 40 count. This is my second ever 40 count, so it's 1/2, and I'm very happy with it. Next, we have the second. This was start number 21, and this is the Spooky Birthday Cupcake. This is the ghost one by the Witchy Stitcher. I am using Stonewash, or Weathered Stone, sorry. Weathered Stone by Atomic Ranch in 28 count Lugana. I did 3 over 1 or over 2. This was started on August the 10th, and I finished it on August the 14th of this year. And that's where she is, or that's where it's at. And I have plans on how I'm finishing this one too. And I'll go through that maybe in the December video. We'll see. The next finish was actually not a birthday start. It was a free pattern by Witches Gardens Crafts that came with one of my orders from her. And I'm just calling it the Witches Hats. And this is it. This I think is on, it's on an Ada, but I don't remember. It didn't come with a count because it was like a sample that she sends. And then I used Forbidden Fiber Co. Poison Apple, and I worked on this a day and a half. It was started on October the 11th, and it was finished on October the 12th. There's a mix-up because it's like mirrored image all the way around. I messed up somewhere. Right here, I think, is the one that I messed up on. Because I messed up over here somewhere. I don't remember, but this is one. I am going to be making more of these because I want to do like a garland of these, like pillow garland. So we'll see. The next one is another birthday start. I started it on, I believe, August the 9th. Let me double check. Yep. August the 9th. I finished it on October the 14th. I spent a total of 3 days stitching it. It is Crafty Goose by Frizzy Lizzie Stitches. I'm using 36 count Cactus Wren by Fox and Rabbit. Yes, I am well aware there's a mistake. There's gonna be design elements where I mess up on it. And I did a color conversion. I used 327, 553, 832, 310, and Blanc from DMC. And this is where she's at, where she got. I really love her. I'm going to do another one where I actually do it correctly. But this one, I don't know what she's going to be yet. I don't know what number this is, so I'm just going to say number 3 because I finished 4 of my birthday starts. Alright, next, the last one is my Spooky Birthday Cupcake Frankenstein by the Witchy Stitcher. I am doing this on 32 count charcoal by Forbidden Fiber Co. It's a Belfast linen, and I used all it called for DMCs for this. 2 over 2. I really love this. I started this one on, actually I can tell you, I started this one on August the 9th, and finished it on November the 17th. And I really love it. I have plans on how I'm going to finish them when they're all finished. All right, we're going to move on to whips, and I'm going to do them in order of which they were started, and we'll go from there. If I can remember what fabrics I used, I will let you know. Actually, I'm just going to look at my book. So if you see me looking down, I am looking at my cross-stitch journal. It's not really a journal. It's just a catalog of all the projects that I've started in the last year. Like this year and last year. So last 2 years. So let's start this after I take another drink of this tea. Okay. First, we have, I should have unzipped all of these. I totally forgot to unzip them. But we have housed in my Jasmine's custom bags. Bag, I have the Sea Witch by Nora Corbett. I'm using all the called for threads. I started this on August the 8th. I did a marathon start on the 8th through the 10th and got as many as I could get done. So I am using 32 count Haunted by Picture This Plus. And this is where I'm at on that one. I got close to 200 stitches done on that one. Then, in between it, I messed up and I didn't put this one in. This is Pigeon and Puddle by the Blue Flower. I am using 40 count Oracle by Picture This Plus. I am using Pirate and Robin's color conversion for this. And you can't really see anything because it blends in so well. But I just started it. Most of these are going to be barely starts because it just is. I started this on August the 8th. So, yeah. All of them are going to probably be barely starts. And then next year I will shoot to have them finished. Or some of them finished. Next is Siren of the Sea by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I started this on August the 8th. I am using 28 count Lugana from Under the Sea fabrics called Mermaid Sea. I'm using all the called for DMC, and I'm doing 3/2. And let me just fold this so you can kind of get an idea without me having too much. And there I am. As always, I'm going to have a picture of how it will look like when it's finished. But there it is. Then we have Persephone's Garden. This is in my bag from, let me see, Swirly Stitches on Etsy. I am using 40 count Gothic from Pictureless Plus. It's on a Newcastle linen. And I am using Pirate and Robin's color conversion. And let me tell you, I love this. But again, it's a so small start. You're going to be like, okay, I think it's got like 14 stitches in it. Started this on the 8th. And that's what it's, where I'm at on that one. Okay, next we have the Black Roses by Al Forest Embroidery. I started this one on August the 8th. I'm using a 32 count Circe. This is on a linen by Under the Sea. And where I started. And this is where I started. It's not much. I'm using a half a yard of fabric. Just because it makes sense. And then I'm using DMC 310 for the castle. And then for the other bits, like the foliage, like the vines and roses, I am using Pirate and Robin Jungle, Pirate and Robin Raisin, and there's also another one, I believe it's Pirate and Robin Midnight, that I'll be using as well. I just don't have it in here with me because I'm not there yet for needing it. There is that one. I don't know why I zipped that one up when I haven't been zipping up anymore. I started that on the 8th. Then we have Cryptids by the Witchy Stitcher. Started this on the 8th. I am using Under the Sea Fabrics, 32 count linen and properly primitive. Or cryptid. It's not cryptids. And I'm using all the called for DMC for this one. And this is where I'm at on this one. Excuse me. I really love all these projects that I started for my birthday. And I can't wait to actually spend more time working on them and getting them finished. Next we have Unicurse by the Witchy Stitcher. I started this on August the 9th. I'm using 14 count Black Ada by Zigart. And all the called for DMC. And I'm doing 3 strands over 1 because it is 14 count. And this is where I'm at on that. I wish, you know what? Let's do it this way. This is where I'm at on that. So there's that. Then we have the Nostalgic Tarot by the Witchy Stitcher. I started that on the 9th. I am using 16 count Black Ada by Zigart and all the called for DMC. I'm doing 2 over 1. And Again, it's abysmal start, and I'm sorry for the hanging thread. I will apologize in advance for all the hanging threads on any of my projects. I just didn't feel like messing with it. So there's that. Then we have the Spooky Birthday Cupcakes Pumpkin. Again, by the Witchy Stitcher. I started this on the 9th. Had to rip it out and restart it back in October. And this is where I'm at on this one. I am using 32 count charcoal by Forbidden Fiber Co. And just using all the called for DMC. And it's 2/2. Okay. Then we have You're in Danger by the Stitch Crypt. I started this on the 9th. And I am using 36 count Cactus Wren by Fox and Rabbit. I am using all the called for DMC. And this is where I'm at. It's not much. While I'm at it, I might as well show the other one that I started, because I'm housing them all in the same bag. This is not My Circus. I started this also on the 9th of August. And I don't remember the designer. If I find out the designer, it will be down below in the show notes. So this is Not My Circus. And that's how much I've gotten done. Again, it's on 36 count Cactus Wren by Fox and Rabbit. And I'm using 310, DMC 310 on that one. All right, the next project for Birthday Bash is the Summer Gothic Sampler by House of Cam. I started this one on the 9th. I am using Confer 36 count by Picture This Plus. This is on Edinburgh linen. And I'm using all the called for DMCs. And this is where I'm at. I'm really loving this. I can't wait to actually finish this one. I really enjoyed working on it while I was working on it. When I first started it, like, I didn't want to put it down, but kind of had to, so I could do all the rest of them. And I'm doing 2/2 on 36 count. Next we have Disturbed Women by Lucy Beam. I started this on the 9th. I am using Deadly Bloom 16 count Ada by Witch's Garden Crafts. And I'm using Pirate and Robin Bog Witch and Forbidden Fiber Co. Morgana. And I'm doing 2 strands over 1. And again, abysmal start, but here I am. And this is Bog Witch right here. Don't know if you can see that. It's beautiful. It's a very beautiful variegated, but the way I stitch it, you don't see the variegation. Because apparently I'm not good at stitching. The next one is Humphrey by Stacy Nash. I started it on the 9th of August. I am using all the called for thread. I am using Oracle by Picture This Plus on Edinburgh linen. It's 636 count. I am doing, is it 2 over? It's 1 over 2. And it's, again, abysmal, but that's where he's at. Then we have Death Floof by the Stitch Crypt. I started this on the 9th. I am using I am using 14 count Frankenstein by the Witch's Gardens Crafts. I'm doing 3 strands over 1, and I'm using all the called for DMC. This is one of my favorite colors, and that's where I'm at. I'm telling you, when I say abysmal, like, yeah, that's really small, but I'm loving it. I can't wait to actually get back to this one. Okay. I'm using all the called for DMC for this one. Next is Rappaccini's Quaker by Bendy Stitches. I started this on the 9th. I am using, geez Louise. I am using a bag made by me. So it's in my bag made by me. I'm using 40 count Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit. I am using all the called for threads, and they are Classic Colorworks. And once again, I have a hanging thread, and yeah. So this is where I'm at on that. Not much. It's so abysmal. I'm going to try to get more of that done at a later date. Okay. In another bag made by me, I have the Elemental Dragons by Ink Circle. I am using, this is the Earth one. I am using Picture This Plus 32 count Belfast linen in the colorway Spring. I am doing 2 over 2 because I didn't like how it looked when it was over 1. And I am using Overiswa 103 in the Nor colorway, and that's where I'm at. Oh, hopefully it doesn't fall. Next is the Oak Tree Nymph by, I believe it's Quadrant Creations. I don't remember how to pronounce. Again, I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce the name. And I'm using 28 count cashel linen from Forbidden Fire Co. in the colorway Waterfall. That's where I'm at. I am using Dinky Dye Silks in the colorways Ironbark and Evergreen. I'm doing 3 strands over 2. And just because it's here and I don't feel like messing with it just one project after, I have Loch Ness Monster by the Stitch Crypt, also started on the 10th, and I'm using all the called for DMC, and that's where that one's at. As I fight to remember how this goes. Okay, it is what it is. Then we have Zodiac Signs by the Tiny Modernist. I started this on August the 8th. I am using a half a yard of 16 count Black Ada by Zig Art, and I'm using all the called for DMCs. It is housed in a bag made by me. And it is an abysmal start. Just saying. Super small start. That I believe it goes like this. Yeah, I believe it goes like this. Or it goes like this. I don't remember. So, there's that. Again, an abysmal start. Put that down right here. Then we have Little Owl's Night by Jen's Fiberweb. Jen of Jen's Fiberweb on YouTube. I started this on the 10th. I am using 14 count Black Ada. I'm just going to keep it folded so you don't see the holes. That's what I've done. I'm doing 3 strands over 1. I'm using Threadworks threads, but in the colorways Marlowe, Coffee and Cream, Parrot Bay, and Concord Grape, which was part of the Night Palette. Is the Night Palette threads from this year of the Night Garden this year. So this was the threads from Night Garden. So, and Jen originally designed this. She wasn't one of the designers featured, but she designed it just to go along with it. And I was like, ooh, it's a freebie. I have to have it. Then, now we have, I think that's it on that one. Now we have Beauty and the Beast by Tilton Crafts. This is one of the 3 full coverages that I had picked out for my birthday. I am using 25 count Easy Grid. I am actually thinking I'm going to rip it out because I don't like how it looks. It's too airy for me. So I'm probably going to end up ripping this out and restarting if I can find where I'm at. Sorry. It's a large piece, so okay. And I started in the left-hand corner. I don't like how it looks. It looks too airy. Or it's a left-hand corner, so it looks just too airy. So I'm thinking I'm going to rip it out and do 2/1 instead of the 1/1. So and this is in a bag by me. I just needed something to fit a full coverage that I liked. Next is Deception charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, art by Rachel Mark. This is on a 25 easy count by Zig Art. And this is where I'm at. And this is 2/1, and I'm loving the way it looks. So this one, I think on 25 count, I'm going to just do 2/1. If I have to buy more thread because the pattern on the designer on the pattern said, or the charter said it was 1/1, then so be it. I'm okay with that. Then we have Pride of Her Kingdom, charted by Cross Stitch for Everyone. Sorry, I started these all on the 17th of August. And where did I put it? I always fold these so weird when I get the chance to fold them because I don't think about it. Alright, sorry. Then I'll just fold this in half. Okay. And this is my abysmal start on that one. And I'm using all the called for DMC. Okay. And then we're almost done with the 30 birthday stitches. So we have To Love a Beast by World on a String by Dara. I started this on the 18th of August. I'm using 18 count Lugana in Weathered Stone by Atomic Ranch. I did a color conversion to Weeks Dye Works, and I am using the called for Weeks Dye Works and DMC 800 because they didn't have a one for that. So this is where I'm at on this one. In all actuality, I could probably get that done in a couple days, in another day or so. The Weeks Dye Works that I just put it in on 123 Stitch, and they have a Weeks Dye Works color conversion to DMC. So I just looked that up and I got the numbers that I was using for this, called for DMC numbers, and then I just picked out the ones I wanted. So that's that one. Then the next one is Beauty and the Beast by The Primitive Hare. I started this on my birthday, which is August the 23rd. I'm using 32 count Doubloon by Picture This Plus. It's a Belfast linen. And I'm using the called for DMC in Gentle Arts. And of course, I didn't put it where I could use it better. Sorry. Okay, and this is my start. Technically, yeah, this is my start. Then we have the last one, which is 365 by Works by ABC. And I am using, of course, the called for DMCs. I am using 36 count Chosen by Forbidden Fiber Co. It's on Edinburgh linen. Edinburgh linen. And this is where I'm at. This was originally supposed to be a stitch a day, where I stitch one motif a day. I don't think that's going to work out for me. Unless I get it caught up. But I don't see that happening. Yeah, I don't see that happening. So I'm just going to finish it when I finish it. I would like to have it finished before my birthday next year. So that's what I'm thinking of now, is like have it finished before my birthday next year. And probably start 324 as well, so that I can get 324 done around the same time as 365. And that makes the end of the 30 Birthday Bash 2025 30 cross stitches. I'm back with the rest of my starts. The first one is Silhowitches Quaker by Teresa Kogut. I started this on October the 11th, and I am using 40 count Witch's Brew by XU Designs. It's a linen. And I'm using Weeks Dye Works in the colorways Mascara, which is of course the black, and then Absinthe, which is that beautiful green. Because these are more my colors than the ones that were called for. And of course, I'm not an orange person, so I chose a purple. So that's where I'm at, and I'm back stitching as I go. And I really enjoyed this when I was working on it. So then we have Salem Sisters Apothecary. This is using DMC 310 and Picture This plus Valdant. And this is a 32 count. Oh, sorry. And this is where I'm at on it. That's where I'm at on it. The next one is the Told Cool Terrarium Sal by Noctiflora Designs. And I am not keeping up with it, unfortunately. And this is where I'm at. I started this on October the 19th. And I'm using 18 count Midnight by Witch's Garden Crafts. So, and I'm not going to try to do it in Sal time because I'm just so far behind and I really don't want to. Then we have the one, this isn't for me, this is for somebody else. I do not root for this team. This is the Arkansas Razorback, the University of Arkansas logo. So the University of Arkansas logo is a Razorback. At least the one that I live near. My neighbors are huge Arkansas Razorback fans, so I was like, I'm going to make this one for them to give either next year, because it's not going to happen this year. I don't want to do that this year. But that's what I'm stitching. I got it from Personal Designs. Started October the 24th. I am using 14 count white Ada by Zigart, and I'm using DMC 310, 414, 498, and 498. So that's where I'm at on this one. Death is a Dialogue by Lindy Stitches. I started this on October the 25th. And I'm using Silver Moon by Zigart. This is a linen. It's a 32 count. And this is where I'm at. I'm using DMC 310. So that's where I'm at. Okay. We're almost there on the new starts. Then I have Assembly Required by Ink Circles. I started this on October the 26th. I am using 32 count charcoal and by Zigart. It is a Belfast linen. And trying to find where it's at. Sorry. This is always... And that's where I'm at. Yep, that is where I'm at on that one. Okay. So. And I'm using Dinky Dyes Caramel for the... So, I am doing that. Okay. I am... Also, how many more do I have? Okay, I have 4 more. So, this is the Haunted Library by Lola Crow. I started this on October the 27th. This is where I'm at. I am using 18 count Ada and Yearn by Black Dahlia Fabrics. And I'm using all the called for DMC. This is 2/1. And that's where I'm at. So. Then we have A Graveyard Wonder by The Witchy Stitcher. I started this on October the 29th. And I'm using 18 count Ada by Black Dahlia Fabrics in the Hide Behind colorway. And this is where I'm at. And it's 2/2. Then we have Spells and Potions by Erin Elizabeth Designs. I am using 36 count Old Stationery by Seraphim Fabrics. I am using Dinky Dye Silks in the, I believe it's the one she used, which is Black Coral. And this is where I'm at. And I started that on October the 30th. My last project that I started is The Visit by The Primitive Hare. I started this also on October the 30th. I am using 32 count Murky by Picture This Plus. And I am using, I did a color conversion. I am using Weeks Dye Works Mascara and Weeks Dye Works Lead. And this is what it looks like. I'm working on the moon. And it's 2/2. So, and that's it for starts. Okay, we're going to start the whips. There's only 2. And these are the ones that I worked on in the last 3 months that aren't new starts. So, the first one, I had it in wrong order. The first one is The Briar by by Sprouting Lupine. I started this on January the 21st of this year, and this is where I'm at. And I did a color conversion with 2 colors. This purple was supposed to be like, they were supposed to like kind of blend well together. And I wanted more of a Gothic-y, like I wanted more of this purple. So I wanted to use this purple because it came in the limited edition. It was like a limited edition from Forbidden Fiber Co. because I did the storybook box from Starlight Stitchery. So these were the threads that came in. Most of them were used in this pattern anyways, except for Morgana and I believe Forbidden Forest. Let me double check. Black Forest. Yeah. Morgana and Black Forest were the only ones. So the green was supposed to be a blue, and this was supposed to be like a taupey instead of a purple, but I really love how it's looking. I am happy with the color conversion I chose. And this is using 14 count parchment by Forbidden Fiber Co. And it's 2/1 on this one. I'm very happy with how this one looks, 2/1. So I don't know if I took a photo of where it was before I started working on it. If I did, it will be up here. If I didn't, then I didn't, and I'm not going to hunt it down. And then the last one is this one. This one is a tale of Mauricia being Mauricia and not paying attention. This is Gaia by Quarteron Creations. I messed her up. I cut my fabric before measuring, and I don't have enough room to do her full dress. So 1/4 of her dress, like, it's not gonna fit. So what I'm doing is I'm going to finish her because I want to. This is on 14 count honeydew. This is 3/1, and I am using Blue Groper by Dinky Dyes. And that's where she's at. So what I'm going to do is I am debating on if I'm going to close her dress up or I'm going to leave it like that and just add some design in here because I don't want to leave it bare. And I'm going to just finish her out like that. And then next year sometime, I'm going to redo her, remake her in the same colorway, which is Honeydew, and same color, Blue Groper. So, thankfully, I bought 2 skeins of Blue Groper for her. So, and that's it on whips. I will insert a photo of where she was the last time you seen her to now because I do have her. So let's move on to plans for the next couple of weeks or days or however I do it. Because I'm hoping to be back shortly after Thanksgiving here in the States. And then I can go through my plans for December. So my plans for this week are I want to finish Gaia. Or Gia, or however you say your name. I want to finish her. Okay? I want to finish her. She's actually going to work with me today. Then I want to also work on the jack-o'-lantern spooky birthday cupcake. I want to try to get that one done. There's no hopes on that one. I'm not like 100% sure. And I think that's it. If I work on it, I work on it. I would like to work on the Briar as well. So work on the Briar. I would like to see Gaia done. And then work on the jack-o'-lantern cupcake. And I think that's all I want to do. So until next time, take some time to do the things you love. Spend time with your loved ones. Bye.